Welcome to our Beginners Academy Zoom. I'm Greg Lane, N4KGL. I we have a weekly Zoom meeting we call Beginners Academy. So we have our Zoom audience tonight. Uh, Tonight I'm in Chico, California, visiting uh, my daughter and son-in-law, and also taking advantage of the parks in the area. And so that's our topic tonight. And a relatively new activity for a lot of us is tiles on the air. So our topic tonight is POTA and TOTA from Northern California. And to capture my contacts when I'm doing POTA, I use the World Radio League app. And these are screenshots from the app. And uh, it's very good for doing parks on the air. Won't go through all the details, but the slide on the left is the logging screen. And you can put in the call sign to report the state. And it does everything it can to make it easier. It usually will auto-populate the state and even the park that the other party's in. It also handles when you're talking to someone that's in two parks at once. They overlap, so it handles that case. On the right is the spot screen, and this is when you use POTA as the data source. This is the same information that you would get on the POTA.app site. And a really neat thing about it is if you're it helps you find the stations. And if you find one that's spotted, you can click on it and it will copy that information to the log. So you don't have to put in their call sign. You just put in the signal report and it's good. So so that is super convenient. And this I'm using it on an Android phone. It's probably available for iPhones. I haven't checked that out. Uh, on the left here, it will give you a summary, statistics on on your contacts. So for a POTA activation, I make a log for it. And so basically in that log, it's the 10 contacts and more information about it. And it will indicate what countries you've talked to and states. So it's a nice summary. And on the right is a screenshot of the map. And this was my last activation at Black Butte Lake State Park. And so that's a map of the 10 contacts that I made. So looks like you can tell I was getting one hop to
Hmm.
the middle of the country and maybe two hops. I believe I got Maine and maybe Pennsylvania there. So we'll have more pictures from that activation. So I'm staying the best part of a week out here. So I've made four activations, and um, Actually, one of these I did not get enough context for it to count as activation. So three activations in one attempt. And so I'm uploading these contacts. I'm exporting from the WRL log,
Hmm.
and the logs show up on their page that's in your browser. And then I export that and upload it to the Parks on the Air system. So that works well. Now, changing gears, there's a something relatively new called tiles on the air. And a tile is essentially a 6-digit grid square, I'll call it. But um, they call it a tile. So over here on the left, you see Chico. Uh, that blue pin is my location. And then the four other spots are tiles that I activated. Of course, I was doing POTA, but I can count it also for tiles on the air. And, I was a little disappointed that I didn't get 10 contacts, but it turned out you only have to get one contact for it to count for tiles on the air. So anyway, I got credit through that. So tiles on the air, has a website and the rules, and you know, it's similar in ways to parks on the air, but tiles on the air, you can activate any tile in the world. So now getting down to equipment, oops, I brought the bulk of my equipment in a backpack on the plane, which is on the left. And so it's got the ICOM 705. It has the Alex loop. It has all the accessories. It has a key. I've got HT in there and a power bank and you name it, I got it in there. And on the right is my Soda Beams link dipole. And I brought a telescoping pole, which obviously is not in the backpack. But I bought a piece of angle from Lowe's and a little hammer. So anyway, I hammer that stake in and set up the telescoping pole and hang the link dipole on it. It's hard to take a picture of it. But anyway, in the middle is the Alex loop. At that site, I couldn't find any picnic tables, so I just set up on a trail and used the Alex loop. And Carrie will be interested. And the one on the right is a Radio Oddity RF009 vertical. And I use that at my at one activation. So it's been checked out. I got my 10 contacts with it. This is just a shot of the Bidwell, no, yeah, Bidwell, Sacramento River State Park. Uh, and well, just a very short story. There was a car there when I arrived, and to make it a short story, I heard a lot of loud voices. And this lady came out of the car and said, "Do you have a phone? Will you call 911?" So that was probably time to get out of there, but I called 911. So I had a QSO with 911. And in the end, she really didn't need any help. Her partner walked off, and so anyway, there wasn't a serious problem, but there's a lot of yelling and cussing going on. So anyway, but I continued on and got the contacts. I did try to do FT8. I won't go into all those details, but it just didn't cooperate. So maybe I'll get that figured out before I leave. This was at that Black Butte State Park, and it's a lake. It's really scenic. The view in California is a little different than Southeast Alabama. But anyway, my daughter Emily and Nathan joined me on this. So Nathan's helping me put up the link dipole, I think. And that's some of the landscape. I believe over to the left may be the butte for which this is named, but it was very scenic. Um, at the spots, just for fun, I had a HT Kenwood D74 that has APERS in it. So I beaconed, and this is from aprs.fi, the website. And that is a pretty remote place there. And anyway, apparently, from my HT, it hit a mountain, a digipeater, and it got digipeated. It looks back to Chico. And so it showed up on the map. So, so I was pleased. So pretty much everywhere I went, had would pick me up on APRS on 2 meters.
Mm.
Here's just these are actually little movies. So, but I've I figured out I can just use my phone and make a little short video, and it will become a YouTube short. And I think everybody likes that better than the 10-minute videos I do. Well, I was made it a family affair, and so they enjoyed it too.
Cool.
And fortunately, it was a successful activation. So uh, here's another short one here from another park. Let's see.
How many amp hour battery is that you have on your 705?
It's 4.5.
Mm.
That lasts you quite a while.
Yeah, Frank, that's bio 4.5 amp hour.
The voltage was 13.8.
Well, uh, when it's fully charged, it puts out about 14.6.
Yeah.
So, you know, the
I,
performance of it will eventually get down to 13.2 and just kind of stays there. I've never run
okay.
one out. So,
Bill gave me four lithium ion batteries that are, I think, 3.5 or when they're
yeah,
charged, they're four. And you got a little package where I can snap them in. Uh, and I made a little package with the. I'm going to use 75, which I just ordered.
yeah.
And I was wondering how long it would last. So it should last quite a bit. Then
Yeah, I
do
I
you
don't
use it when?
I think I could have gone all these activations on one battery.
Hmm,
Um, it's 54 watt hours, and when I'm on receive, the rig is taking about 3 watts. So
yeah. So
fits
yeah,
the
but you got a
bill,
good.
and you can carry it on the airline. They
Yeah.
never opened up our bag, so I don't know
Mm.
about them. All right, here's one
The,
more.
you run that on 10 volts, I mean 10 watts.
Yes, yeah,
Mhm.
takes about 2.5 amps or something like that at 10 watts, but yeah.
This
So
is why you're trans.
yeah, that was my battery of choice, and
Hmm.
I have a power bank that I could use, a USB power bank, which that's a different story, but that was my backup. Uh, on the right, we have a video from that park, and the vertical you see there is a RF009. It's very convenient to set up. Has a little spike on the bottom, and you can just push it in so it holds itself up. And it does have counterpoise or radials, and I just laid those on the ground. And anyway, it got the job done, and I got a little report on that. Here it goes. So, any questions about the equipment there?
So how far was your furthest contact with the vertical, Greg?
Actually, I'll look that up for you.
It probably it might have been in some of that data you sent in your emails.
Yeah, it is. But what I could do is go to the log and on WRL and click on it and then do the stats.
Yeah.
Come on, internet. Okay, let's see. It says my longest contact was 828 miles. The
Okay.
average distance was 535. And So yeah, Utah, Montana, California, and Colorado. So yeah. So California is pretty long state. So you can hit California on 20 meters. And well, on CW, I ran into W6JL, and he is 86 years old. I kind of know him because he's done a QSO Today interview, and his rig is all homebrew. And and so I knew he was going to want to rag chew. And after 11 minutes, I said, well, better run. And he said, why so soon? So I went a little longer. So, so when you run into the real rag chewers, they don't want you bowing out. They want you to hang around.
Yeah.
So, yep.
I,
So,
I, go ahead.
yep,
A while back, Greg, you gave a presentation on that little module that you can put on your a USB-C pack, and
yep,
you can select the voltage.
right.
Yeah, when I gave a presentation of the FTX1, I gave a little presentation about the same thing, only the little module I had,
Yep,
you have to select the voltage you want, a little
yep.
jumper in there. The one you mentioned is programmable.
Yes, it is. In fact, well, I think the one you're talking about, is practical and less expensive. But you can program up to 20 volts. A- And I have a charger that will take that much. So I have three of those little modules. So one of them I programmed for 13.5, another one 14, and the last one to 20 volts. So, but anyway, using, I can use a little uh, USB charger that plugs into the wall and that V-Flex thing and charge my 4.5 amp hour battery. So anyway,
On, on
yeah,
mine, I have it set to 15 volts,
yeah,
and that seems to be.
yeah,
I I don't have a 3.8. I have a 12 and a 15, so
yeah.
I chose the 15.
I think that worked
Yeah.
for most applications. So
Now, on your 705, do you have the USB micro, or did you convert it to the
it,
USB-C?
it's it's the micro. Hmm.
They sell a little board that you can replace that with.
Right.
The board's about 50 bucks or something. It's only takes a strip and a couple of screws to replace it.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't pulled the trigger on that.
No, I haven't bothered either.
Yeah. All right. Next. Oops. All right. Well, this is, the we won't go into every nuance of tiles on the air, but it's pretty cool. Um, you can see, well, it gives a summary of the activations I've done for tiles on the air here, and they assign points to it, and they explain, why you got the points you got, and so so it's fun, and you can activate anywhere. It doesn't have to be a park or a summit. And I was going to click on new activation, although I'm not putting in a new one. But um, so if we were going to put one in, could say it was at a park. Um, you can import your ADIF file, and it will automatically get how many contacts you made. There's various ways to put in your location that you did. And I won't go through it, but it leads you through. And if you want credit for doing a walk or a bike ride associated with your activation, you can um, put you can in you can export a GPX file and import it into this website. So that would be the next step in here. But I'm going to jump over and go to the map. So I tell you, there weren't any things in Northern California, but there are now. So, um, so anyway, you saw them before. That's the pins for the tiles. And when I click on it, so this is visible to, you know, everybody. So you know what tiles have been activated and who activated them. And this is CM99AP. And I got my 10 QSOs. It was Park. And if you're running QRP, they double your points. So that's sweet.
What
And
water? What water just QRP?
10 or under.
Okay.
Yep. And on this one, I imported a track, and you can click on view the track. Hopefully this will come up for you. So I didn't have to walk too far, about 3/10 of a mile, but um, hopefully you can see the track there. So pretty cool. Um, it's has a lot in common with radar. So I'm thinking about how um, tiles on the air and radar might play together in the future. Okay. Um, all right. So there is a way to do to spot your activity. That would be helpful for radar. So I clicked on that now. You can schedule your activation. You can document your activation. You can see the map. So it's a very well done, website. So
That makes it pretty simple.
yeah. So you got your rules, and they even have something where you get points if you work somebody else that's activating it. They call it T3, but it's from tile to tile, and that gives you extra points. So very similar to radar, really. Anyway, it's great. So, um, I did a lot of research before I came out here, and um, I've been able to um, get a few parks, also spend time with my daughter and Nathan, and I might do one more park maybe tomorrow. Or I could just activate a local park here in Chico, and that would be for a tile. So, okay. Well, that's what I had tonight. So, I if you're interested, encourage folks to do parks on the air, and if your situation dictates that you can't get to a park, you can do a tile, and you can do a tile when you activate a park. So there's overlap there. All right. Any questions from our Zoom audience here?
I suppose there's three things you can do. You can do POTA, radar, and tile. Um,
Yes, you can.
yeah.
And soda.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Now, I actually toyed with the idea of doing soda out here, but I think with the heat, it was probably not a good idea.
It's better idea to just drink soda rather than do soda.
Yeah, very good, Frank. I like that. I like that. All right. Well, that's an update here from California, and we'll be getting back at the end of the week. So, all right. So we'll wind it up. We'll roll this out to YouTube so folks that couldn't join us tonight can get to see it. So, 73 from California. All right.